Greetings, everyone. This is Jeff Wilkerson, professor of physics at Luther College, bringing you the next in our series of what to look for in the night sky. We're talking about the week of August 25th this time around. So, good week ahead of us. The moon, it ends the week half full. It starts the week just barely visible. So, on the evening of the 25th, the moon is an 8% crescent. You should be able to see that. It should be about as thin as you're able to see just after sunset. Go out and look for the crescent moon in the glow of sunset. It's sitting about 7.5 degrees west of Mars, southwest of Mars. So you want to see if you can find Mars in the glow of sunset as well. You'll definitely need binoculars or something to help pull Mars out of that glow. I think that's going to be a challenge, is to find Mars. One night later on the 26th, the moon's about twice as full, 15% full, and it will have slipped past Mars. It's about 6 degrees from Mars on that night. Remember, your fist at arm's length is about 10 degrees, and it's sitting about 7 degrees below Spica, the star in Virgo. That's a marker of spring for us, really, and here we are in the fall, seeing it in the glow of sunset. Again, Spica is not bright to pull out of the glow of the sunset. You're going to have to work at that, but you've got the moon to guide you here. And so with the moon to guide you here on the evening of the 26th, this nice 15% crescent, it's a good time to be looking for Spica and Mars above the moon there. By the end of the week, the 30th, into the morning of the 31st, Antares is that orange star that's in the heart of Scorpius, big bright orange star. The moon will be sitting just below there at 50% full. So we'll have a beautiful half full moon sitting below Antares there. At the end of the week also, we've been watching Jupiter and Venus. I hope you've been watching Jupiter and Venus together in the morning sky. I was looking at them just this morning before we're recording this right now. Just beautiful with the moon near there this morning as I looked at it. But next week, the week we're talking about here, at the end of the week, they will have separated Venus and Jupiter by almost 20 degrees. Almost 2 fist widths will separate them. So that separation is growing and growing and growing. Venus will be sitting just below, just a little bit less than 2 degrees below the Beehive Cluster, the big open star cluster in the heart of Cancer, M44. Get your binoculars out. See if you can see the Beehive Cluster with Venus there when Venus first clears the horizon and it's still plenty dark. And Jupiter sits about 1 degree from Wasat, the star in Gemini, that we've looked at quite a bit over the last year as planets have moved past there. So Jupiter's within 1 degree. Castor and Pollux are the 2 bright stars in Gemini. This is the next bright star down in the chain of stars below Pollux. So you're looking below Pollux is Wasat, this star. It's a 3.5 magnitude star. And so by the end of the week, Jupiter will have closed within about 1 degree, a little bit over 1 degree from Wasat. In the next week ahead, we'll talk about it because Jupiter's going to just, in the next few days after the week we're talking about here ends, Jupiter's going to skim right, just brush right by Wasat as it's moving, following Venus, but it's not as fast as Venus, moving east against the background stars. So let's talk about what we can see in the night sky here that's fun and interesting. And let's start in the south with Sagittarius. The Sagittarius looks like a teapot. There's the body of the teapot. You've got a spout. You've got a couple of stars that mark the handle. And you've got the lid of the teapot. Calx Borealis is this 2.8 magnitude star that marks the lid. The upper left star in the body of the teapot is Phi, 3.2 magnitudes. So we got all these third magnitude stars we're talking about this week. Third magnitude, for most of us, third magnitude is a fairly visible star. You can survive a little bit of light pollution, you can survive a little bit of haze and still see a third magnitude star, but it's not going to be real bright. If you have a little bit of light pollution that you're dealing with, you're not going to see a lot beyond third magnitude often, but you can often still pick out them. If you have a lot of light pollution, you won't see these stars. But anyway, the top of the lid of the teapot of Sagittarius, I got Sagittarius, my drawing squished a little bit here. The aspect ratio is not quite right. But if we go from Phi to Calx Borealis and scoot on out and drop down just a little bit, we go out 5.5 degrees from Calx Borealis, we get to M8, the Lagoon Nebula. And just 1.25 degrees above the Lagoon Nebula is the Trifid Nebula, M20. These are fabulous nebulae. We see them. There are young stars there. That's what allows us to see them. The light from those stars is exciting the electrons in the gas clouds from which these stars form. But there's also dark dust clouds, especially in the Trifid. There's dark dust lanes from absorption nebulae that you can see there. And out past the glowing nebula, that is from the light. You get a reflection of the light of the stars. You see reflected light off of dust that exists out past there that looks blue in photographs. So when you look at a photograph, you'll see red. Red means hydrogen, means the 3-to-2 transition in hydrogen is often what you're looking at right there. And that's from the electrons in the hydrogen being excited by the photons from these hot young stars that are in the core there. Then you got dark absorption lights, and you'll see the blue outside around there. And the blue, in this case, is reflected light off material that's around that shell. So these are all interesting things, fairly bright. You can see them with binoculars pretty easily, I think, and then you can take your telescope and start to pull them out and look at your telescope. You got your smart telescope and you're going and you're taking pictures. These are as good a targets as you're going to get. A big sprawling lagoon, tighter but really visually appealing and interesting Trifid. It's hard to imagine doing better than something you take a photograph there. Now, we go north and we come to Signis. So I put the transit time. It gets dark. Transit is the line that connects north to south directly overhead. That's when the objects are easiest to see and best to observe. It gets dark. Sagittarius, Calus Borealis, and the Lagoon and Trifid Nebula are on the meridian. They're on that line that connects north to south. They transit at 9 o'clock. An hour later, Albireo will be transiting on that line directly north to south at about 10 p.m. Albireo we talk about often. It's a nice 3.1 magnitude star right in the middle of the summer triangle. Deneb, Vega, and Altair. Vega, Deneb, and Altair. And right in the middle of that triangle is Albireo. Albireo is one of the most beautiful double stars in the sky. A blue star, gold star, easy to pull out with a small telescope typically. So give it a look for sure. But what we're really interested in here now, we've got the cross that makes Cygnus the swan. If we run parallel to that cross, so we go out perpendicular to this line that connects Deneb, the bright star, to Albireo, we run perpendicular like this, following the arms of the cross up there. We get to M56 if we're going north and west. M56 is a big, beautiful globular cluster. Should be able to see it, should be able to enjoy the view in the eyepiece. You go the other direction, you come to the Dumbbell Nebula. This was just under 4 degrees from Albireo, just over 8 degrees the other direction from Albireo is the Dumbbell Nebula. This is a planetary nebula. This is a star, a low-mass star that has ejected its envelope. It's ejected its outer shell into space. And it's got magnetic field that constrains the direction the material can travel. And so it looks like a bow tie. It looks like a dumbbell. And you can see that in a lot of telescopes. You got a good 8 or 10 inch telescope. You can start to see that bow tie shape as you look at the M27, the Dumbbell Nebula right there. So these are objects that are pretty good objects in a small telescope. Also good photographic material. Maybe M27 more than M56, but if you're out there taking pictures, why not? Now let's go farther north, and we got Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia looks like this W with the left-hand side lying down weakly. We go from Schedar to Caph up this direction, and you go the same direction, the same distance out on the bottom of that W, and you come to M52, a big open star cluster. It's a tight open star cluster and rich. A lot of stars and relatively tight. Great, you see it in your binoculars. Great to see in a small telescope. Right there. Caph is this 2.3 magnitude star that is your jumping off point to get out there. But in the same field of view of M52, less than a degree from the heart of M52, is a fairly large, sprawling Bubble Nebula that's like the nebulae down here, that has some new star formation in it, and you see it glowing from the ultraviolet light from that new star formation. The Bubble Nebula is a tricky object. It's NGC 7635, not as easy to see. So go find M52, and if you've got M52, you've probably got the Bubble Nebula in your field of view, especially if you have a relatively low power eyepiece, a nice 30 or 40 millimeter eyepiece in your telescope. Poke around there a little bit and see if you can pull that. That's your challenge object of the week, is the Bubble Nebula. Also a good opportunity for photography if that's what you're doing out there. So that's what we got. We got some interesting stuff with the moon and the planets, and early in the week in particular, before the moon gets half full at the end of the week, but half full is not ruining the sky. We've got a lot of objects that we can look on. Caph, we'll be on the meridian at 3 a.m. I don't think I wrote that up there. So it's 3 a.m. 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 3 a.m. are the good observing times, the best observing times for this. But this region of the sky, for me, at 43 degrees north latitude is circumpolar. It's always in the sky. So it'll be well placed by midnight to observe, or 1 in the morning. So this gives you something to look for all night long as you're out there observing. So that's what we got. It should be a great week. I'm looking forward to it. As always, thanks for watching, everybody, and we hope you have a great week ahead.